And it really factored in who I associated with. I'm not gonna lie to you. It played a major role in my decision in who I associated with. I used it to help me evaluate who I wanted to associate with. I still do it today. I've been doing it for so long I can't even remember when I really started doing it. I would guess it was somewhere around junior high school. If I really had to try to pinpoint back to a certain time frame, it had to be in junior high school. I remember when I got to junior high school, after my mother had got us out the projects in 1971, we got split up. I literally got split up from my childhood friends. Because we had grew up together. We had grew up with each other. And we were split up. They were still in the projects and I was in a different neighborhood. And so when we went to junior high school, we were still hanging out with each other. And we all were starting to go, get together our own different thinking. And I never forget the day that I went out for basketball in junior high school, and I started associating with these Caucasian girls that were on the basketball team. It was just 3 of them. And my associates or friends from the projects, they didn't like that. They didn't care too much for that. But I thought about it. I knew they was right. They didn't care too much for me associating with someone outside of our environment and our community. And we had a conversation about it. We had a conversation face to face with each other. We had a knock down, drawn out conversation with each other about it. So I would say in junior high school is when I really had to start evaluating who I was going to associate with. And I had to decide to stand my ground on who I was going to choose to associate with. I was going to have the backbone to stand my ground and make my own decision of who I wanted to associate with, and understand why I was associating with that person. So I didn't get angry when my friends or associates from the projects, my old neighborhood, got upset with me. I didn't get angry with them. I did get a little bit out of shape that they were trying to tell me what to do. That part I got past. But aside from that, I really didn't get angry with them. I made every effort to see it from their perspective. But see, I'm gonna get ready to get off of here. Y'all folks need to stop faking the funk. Stop faking the funk. Stop faking the funk. Stop faking the funk. Stop blaming those persons that you want to blame until you have the ability to point that finger back at yourself. Until you find a backbone to point that finger back at yourself. Don't put your weakness on display. Like DJ L Beats, he put his weak backbone on display. And y'all know good and darn well, I was not going to not stop in my tracks and address this man. I was just not going to let that happen. Because too often in our community, we bear witness to somebody who have a character flaws in our community, like Tariq Nasheed, Roland Martin, Candace Owens, Dr. Umar, and on, and including myself. I got character flaws, but I don't have character flaws that I wake up and cause harm to other people. Because I don't have the impact that these persons who have platforms. I barely have less than 500 people following me on most of these platforms. I barely have less than 500 people on Facebook, LinkedIn. I don't even think I have over 100. Instagram, I think I may have just under 400 or 500. YouTube is under 100. Twitter is a little bit over 1,000. But when I was opening my Twitter spaces, I barely would get people to come in my room. Even when I played an audio book. But these other folks who have the ability to have influence on multiple people, their character flaws is a beacon light. A beacon light. I don't have my character flaws is that are not impacting anyone else because I don't have that level of influence or impact or platform. What is that person named Alpha something? You folks spend all this time having these conversations and I never hear anyone talk about gathering their number count. I mean, each and every one of us should have a number count. Each and every one of us should have a number count. And then all of those number counts have to be combined. So it's gonna take a while for any progress to be made. Because until you organize and know your number count, until you put in the hard work and buy land and buy houses and assets and build a network of businesses, community network, organization network, any type of network that you want to support your community, that should be organized. It's just a lot of lip sync to open a Twitter space and you have no directory to direct folks to. You have no business card to give out, to hand out to folks in the neighborhood. Folks, when you're out running errands and you just hand a business card, go back to the old time days, just hand a business card, say, check out this link when you have time. It's a directory for the community. No, folks want to spend all their time doing lip sync, doing talking. It's easy to talk. It's a lot harder to roll up those sleeves and take action. It's real easy to talk. It's real easy to talk, but it's a little bit harder to gather that number count. It's a little bit harder to put in the hard work to gather that number count and know your numbers. It's a little bit harder work than just talking. Number two, all this money that folks don't spend on events, Zoom calls, Zoom meetings, protests, marches. Why couldn't a little bit of that money have been put into a community fund? Why couldn't $5 of that money from each person that made a donation, why couldn't $5 of it could have went into a community fund? Because of selfishness. But these young people want to blame the boomers. What does the boomers and the elders have to do with you not having the ability to gather your numbers? How do you blame your elders and your boomers because you haven't gathered your number count? I would like to understand that part. See when you get down to the nitty gritty and you start peeling back those layers and you start peeling back those layers and you start peeling back those layers, then you realize that finger is going to be pointing back at you. if you're being honest. Once you really start peeling back those layers, that finger is going to be pointing back at you. Because it's no excuse. It's no excuse that all of us adults have not put together a number count by now. There's no excuse for that. I've been preaching since 2022. Gather your number count. I've been preaching it until I'm blue in the face. I've been preaching it. I have built a WordPress website. I have built a GoDaddy website. I have built a Minds platform with over 60 groups. I have built a community on my Twitter profile. I have built a group on my Facebook. I didn't even know anything about this madness until COVID hit. I've done all of that since COVID hit. Because it just dawned on me when I really started engaging in this social media madness, this social media platform madness. I didn't start doing it until 2022. But I got online, I got on the internet to do my entrepreneur stuff in 2001. I was an entrepreneur from 2001 to 2016. 2001 to 2016, my main focus was entrepreneur. I want nowhere near political politics. I was nowhere near it. Now, I did pay attention here and there because I did volunteer for Obama's campaign during that time frame. I did volunteer for John Kerry's campaign and literally went back to the very address that I was born at in the projects. 631 K-Field Court. 631 K-Field Court. Knocked on the door with my little clipboard, knocked on the door, asked the person to register to vote. It should have been it was a proud moment in my life until I realized I had lied. I had lied to myself and that person. That day when I knocked on that door, I said, Alcolin, this is a proud day in your life. You literally went back to the very address that you were born at. But then I had to be truthful with myself. I had lied. I had lied to myself, and I had lied to that person that I encouraged to register to vote. It's not something easy that you have to do. But you're gonna have, if you accept accountability and you know how to be honest, you'll get there. So I have to live with that on my conscience. I've had to live every day of my life since I came to that understanding that I had lied to that person. That's been on my conscience. I can't erase it, and I can't run from taking accountability. I can't run from taking accountability. So every day I wake up, I take accountability for that. So when folks finally start having the backbone to call out their little friends and their little cliques and their little associates, then the collective community is going to prosper. But until folks find the backbone, until they find the backbone and the courage to call out each other, they're not going to see any progress. That's one thing I can say about the elders that came before me. They set the right example. Did they get it all right? Probably not. But they made an effort to set the proper example for those that were coming behind them. Did they get it all right? No. But enough of them set the right example. You ain't going to have no perfect society. You're never going to have a perfect society. So as I was growing up, from the age of 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, up until 18, those adults and those persons around me, enough of them set the right example. Did all of them set the right example? No, they didn't. make my own personal decision, whether to follow the example of the person who was doing something the right way, or follow the person that was doing something the bad way. Well, I told you about my friends that I grew up with. In the 10th grade, I had to sit down with them and tell them that we had to part ways. Do you think that was a pleasant conversation for me? I'm in the 10th grade. I'm having to sit down with persons that I have grown up with. We have known each other since we were old enough to remember going to school in the 1st grade with each other. Kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade. But that day finally came. My mother did not put a gun in my head. My mother was not standing beside me when I made that decision to have that conversation with my friends. I had to have the responsibility to have that conversation with them. And I did. It wasn't a pleasant conversation. No, it wasn't. But I had to make a decision. I had to decide, do I love my mother more than I love my friends? And what we are doing and the devilishness that we are getting into. I had to make that conscious choice. I said, Aquilin, do you love your mother more than you love running with your friends? I said, Aquilin, no, I love my mother. I love my darn mother more than I love those friends. And so I made a decision to tell them we're going to part ways, and we parted ways. And I was able to finish high school. I don't think I would have finished high school if I had not parted ways. We were just going in different directions. I cared about my friends, and I still think about them to this day. It's hardly a day go by that I don't think about them. But I can't never forget that day I had that conversation with them and said goodbye, that we are going in different directions. It was hard, but I had to take responsibility for that. I couldn't point the finger at anyone. I couldn't point the finger at that friend over there named Barbara Williams, my other friend named Angela Jordan, and on and on. I said, Aqua, it would have been very simple. It would have been very simple for me to point the finger at Barbara Williams and say, you to blame for my life going bad. Oh no, Angela Jordan, you to blame for the mistakes that I made. It would have been very easy for me to do that. But I'm not wired that way. I'm not wired that way. So I'm just going to close with this. Folks, ain't nothing going to change. Ain't nothing going to change until you can look in that mirror and point that finger back at your own character. The tiniest little thing, the tiniest little flaws could defeat you. The tiniest little flaws could end up defeating you. And for those that have those large platforms and the large voice, if they're not setting a proper example, they're doing a lot of damage. But folks don't want to call them out. Folks don't want to call them out because they're rubbing elbows with them. They're in their little clique. They're in their little organization. They don't want to call them out. And until adults have the backbone to do that consistently and apply it the same across the board, you're going to always have a negative impact on the collective. You're going to always have proof of a negative impact on the collective. It's no getting around it. It's no escaping it. Unless each adult is holding each other to a standard, a high standard, the collective will always be negatively impacted. Until enough adults have the backbone to set that example, every day they get up, you ain't going to see no change. You're going to continue to see the community go downhill. It ain't going to change. You're You're going to try to dress it up. You're going to try to make it all sound nice and pretty. But once you start peeling back those layers, that negative impact is going to be there for anyone to see. So each person has just got to look within themselves. Look within yourself every day you get up and look in that mirror. If you are looking in that mirror and you are satisfied with the person that's looking back at you, more than likely, over a period of time, collectively, it's going to have a positive impact. But unless each and every one of us are dedicated and committed to that, it's going to fall short. It's going to fall short. It's going to fall short. And you can perpetrate the fraud all you want. You can perpetrate the fraud, you can fake the funk, you can perpetrate the fraud, you can fake the funk, you can fake the funk, you can perpetrate the fraud, and you can perpetrate the fraud, and it's all gonna reveal itself eventually. So you ain't fooling nobody but yourself. You're not fooling no one but yourself. And so today, DJ L Beat and those adults in that room had to face that person they didn't want to face in the mirror. It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. I knew it. I said, soon a day is going to come here real soon, folks. You ain't going to be able to recognize these human beings. You're not going to be able to recognize these human beings. You ain't going to be able to recognize these human beings. They're going to be reinvented themselves. I said, Aquilin, just stay tuned. Aquilin, just stay tuned. And about few months, a whole year and a half done went by. I said, give it some time. Give it some time. Let some time pass. Let some time pass. And you're not going to be able to recognize them. They're just going to wake up one day and reinvent themselves and pretend like all those bad traits that they exhibited didn't happen. They're just going to wake up one day and they're gonna look around to blame someone. They're gonna look around and they're gonna have to find someone to blame. And then they're gonna reinvent themselves. They're just gonna wake up one day and they're gonna look around. They're gonna need to blame someone. Because they're not gonna want to blame themselves. They're not going to want to blame themselves. They're not gonna want to point that finger at themselves. So they gotta look around and find someone to blame. Because they're not going to want to blame themselves. They're just not going to do that. They don't have the backbone to do that. It's just a lot easier to point the finger and blame someone else. And so, it's a spectacle. It's a downright spectacle for me because each of us adults had well over 2 years to gather our number count. That's all we simply had to do. We simply had to organize and gather our number count. Each person dedicated to that every day you got up. Every day that you open a space on Clubhouse, every day you open a space on Fanbase, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all you had to do was ask persons to add their name to a community group, to a Facebook group, to a website, and gather the numbers, and gather the numbers, and gather the numbers. But you didn't do that. You were just having too much fun talking. Y'all folks were just having too much fun talking day after day, month after month. You were just having too much fun talking. Just had a lot of fun talking. So like I said, for all you folks who are preaching and trying to shame folks and fear-monger folks into going to vote, where's your number count? Where's your web page? Where's your database? Where's your email list? Where's your text list? Where's your Facebook group? Where's your Telegram group? Where's your Discord group? Where's your WhatsApp app group? Where is your number count? Because if you are telling another human being to go vote, you need to be showing me a number count. You need to be directing me to a website. You need to be directing me to a Facebook group, a database, a email list, something. Otherwise, you don't need to be telling me to go vote. If you can't show me that information, if that's not the next words out of your mouth, then the only thing I need to do is to tell you to have a nice day. Because you're not talking to me. If you're not showing me that proof that you have set that in place, if you cannot show me proof that you have put that in place, then you don't need to be telling me to go vote. You don't need to be telling anyone to go vote. If you cannot direct them to a database, a web page, a one-page web page, something where they can see proof of your number count and see proof that you have put information that can help them be informed citizen to be informed citizen, I don't need to be listening to you. Do I? Do I? Do I need to be listening to you if you can't even show me proof of those two simple things? You cannot show me proof of a number count, If you can't show me a link that I can click on to gather information to be better informed, then I don't need to be listening to you, do I? Unless I'm brain dead. Unless I'm brain dead, I don't need to be listening to you tell me to go vote, do I? I don't think so. So for all you folks, all you adults who are running around here trying to make folks feel shamed them into voting, saying your ancestors died so you can have the right to vote. You know your ancestors died so you had the right to vote. You know that you can't get reparations passed if you don't vote. Y'all brain dead people don't even understand how to do simple math. You don't even have the Republicans and the Asians and the Latinos and the Mexicans have control of 27 states. They have control of 27 out of 50 states. But y'all never talk about that. Why? Is it a secret? Is that a secret? While you still telling folks to go vote, you ain't told them one day, I ain't heard one of you persons say out of your mouth that the Republicans and the Asians and the Latinos and the Mexicans is a voting bloc. And they have control over 27 states. 27 out of 50. Why y'all not talking about that? Why y'all busy telling folks to go vote? Why you not telling them that the Republicans and the Asians and the Latinos and the Mexicans have already signed a contract to share power? They are a voting bloc. It's signed and delivered. They signed that in 2020. You're 4 years late. You are 4 years late of lying to people. You are 4 years late of lying to people. You are 4 years late of lying to people, so stop doing it. Just stop doing it. But you're not going to do it because some of you folks are benefiting from voting. Some of you have inside connections. You have an IOU. You can call in your IOU. You are rubbing elbows with the right people. You are good. So it benefits you to tell somebody else to go vote. Because it's impacting your life positively. But it's not impacting that person in the projects, the ghetto, and the hood. It's not impacting that person at the bottom positively. Because we got 50 years of data now. So it ain't like we just started voting. We got 50 whole years of data to look at. That's proof that voting has not helped Negro descendants. Can anyone deny that? Can anyone with a straight face deny that? Okay, then, you don't need to be telling anyone to go vote until you gather that number count. Until you gather your economic security by buying land and houses and other assets. Number 3, until you build that network of community network, organization network, non-profit network, political network, and you need to have that organized. You need to be able to direct your persons in your community. Say, we got a network over here, a network with 200 are in this business. 200 persons or organizations are in this network, and they're there for the community. And you need to be able to direct folks to that that link for them to click on. If you don't have those three things in place, if you're not working on getting those three things in place until they are in place, and that's going to take some hard work. It may take 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, who knows? Depends on how hard you work, I guess. But until it's put in place, you're at a disadvantage, and you should not be telling anyone to go vote. If you don't have the ability to push a button and activate your community, persons in your community, if you don't have that ability, why are you telling them to go vote? Why are you doing that? If you don't have the ability to push a button and activate those persons in that community anytime they are experiencing injustice, why are you telling them to go vote? When Sonya Macy got murdered, it should have been a button push to be activated. Didn't happen. When that lady, Sonya Macy, when she got murdered, somebody should have had the ability to push a button to activate the persons in their community in all of these 50 states. And each of these 50 states, that should have been a button that was pushed. It didn't get pushed because you're not organized and you don't know your number count. The button didn't get pushed because you're not organized and you don't know your number count. But you can fit your mouth to go tell somebody to vote. Y'all are downright pitiful. It's downright shameful. It's downright pitiful and shameful for you folks to be telling anyone to go vote. And so I'm going to close out. Mr. DJL is going to be in my title for tomorrow again. And for all you sorry human beings who are trying to blame the elders, come talk to me. Come talk to me if you care to do so. We can have a pleasant conversation if you got the backbone to do it. But you ain't got the backbone to do it. Send me a DM. For any of you adults that want to have that conversation with me, send me a DM. And we can have that conversation. But I don't think y'all have the backbone to do that. You're not going to come to me and have that conversation. Love I Am, this lady by the name of Lion, Check, DJL, all the rest of you adults who know who you are, who blame the elders, come talk to me. Come talk to me. If you got the backbone to do it, come talk to me. I'm going to stop in my tracks and talk to you. No matter how busy I am, I am going to stop and talk to you. I don't think y'all have the backbone. You don't have the backbone. You folks are good at talking. You are good at talking, but you kind of short on action. You're kind of short on action. That's what really bothers y'all. Y'all are jealous of the generations that came before you. That's what the really bottom line is. Anytime that you find a person that wants to blame someone else, they are jealous in some way, form, or fashion. The root of it is jealousy. The root of it is jealousy. They are jealous of the generations before them. It's downright pitiful. It's downright pitiful. And nobody got the backbone to tell each other that. Y'all don't even have the backbone to tell each other that. Oh no, y'all not going to say it. You just don't have the backbone to do it. Y'all like each other. Y'all in the clique. Y'all rub elbows with each other. You in each other's inner circle. So you ain't going to fit your mouth to say anything unpleasant to each other. You ain't going to call each other out. You ain't going to check each other. You're just going to give each other a pass. You're just going to give each other a pass. Just give each other a pass and pretend like nothing happened. Pretend like nothing happened. Pretend like nothing happened. And you clearly know, many of you clearly know of different persons who are out there in your community scamming them. You know it. A lot of you know it. A lot of you know individuals personally who are out there scamming their community, hustling their community. Oh, y'all little saying is, you got to get it out, you can get it. Some old little saying that y'all have now. Oh, that person, you can't, I ain't gonna look down on that person for his hustle. Wow, what does it mean to be pocket watching? I'm not gonna pocket watch this person. I'm not gonna pocket watch this person. Oh no, I can't pocket watch that person. I ain't about to do that. But then you got the audacity to get on a public app and try to blame your elders. How dare you? How dare you weak human beings? How dare you weak human beings? Oh, I'm not gonna pocket watch anyone. I ain't gonna say nothing if I know this person is scamming my community, who is hustling my community. Y'all got so many different hustling going on. Now y'all got these, everybody got a cash out. Everybody got a cash out. A cash out here, a cash out there, a cash out here, a cash out there, a cash out here, and a cash out there, and a cash out here, and a cash out there. I don't even use Cash App. I used it twice in my lifetime. A lot of times I do want to donate to some of you folks. As soon as I hear you say Cash App, I know good and darn well I ain't giving up my private information to Cash App. I'm not doing it. I don't feel comfortable giving up my private information on no Cash App. And I'm not gonna do it. So if that's the platform that you choose, I would think twice about it. I don't think Cash App have a good reputation. That's just my personal valuation. For each is on. For each is on. For each is on. Y'all persons got many different platforms you can use to process money transactions. Why everybody uses Cash App is beyond my comprehension. Don't make no sense to me. But everybody got a Cash App now. Everybody just about got a Cash App. So ain't nothing gonna change. Ain't nothing gonna change until you look at that person in the mirror and point that finger and do that hard evaluation of your character. It's not gonna change. And it's sad because the children that's coming behind you deserve better. I got that from my generation that came before me. I did. And I think I will continue to do my best to set the right example for those that came behind me. I was born in 1962. So I guess those persons that were born after 1962 up to 1972 is my generation that I'm responsible for. I think that is that how it works? Is that how it works? I don't know for sure, but I guess I'll take the next 10 years. I accept the responsibility for the next 10 years. Wait a minute, let me see. No, that's not fair. The fair way to do it, since I was born in 1962, 1972, 1982, anybody born by 1982, I am supposed to set the right example for you folks. Anyone born between 1962, after 1962, up to 1982, I am responsible for setting a positive example for you. Because by then, 1980. By then I'm 18. So I really can't be fully held responsible for too much until I turn 18. Now I'm not completely off the hook because, as we're growing up, we're setting examples. by the time we turn 7, 8, 9 years old, we already starting to set, develop our character. Our character is starting to develop. By the time we get about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we already starting. We're at the beginning stage of developing our character. So I can't take full responsibility for that until I turn 18. But I still have some amount of responsibility between 6 and 18. Is that fair? Is that fair? I think that's fair. So I'm responsible for those persons that were born between 1963 and 1980. Y'all think I'm being fair? Do y'all think I'm being fair? I think I'm being fair. I think I'm being fair. And I've done a darn good job of setting the right example. That's one thing I can say about myself. I ain't bragging. I'm not bragging, but I think I did a fairly good job of setting that positive example. But I wouldn't have been able to do it if it wouldn't have been for my mother and my brothers and sisters and my community. I wouldn't have been able to be developed. I would not have developed into that person. I would not have been developing into that person that I am proud of today if it had not been for my mother and my brothers and sisters and my community. Did they get it all right? I'm sure not, but I don't have anything that I can blame them for. Not one iota thing. I cannot think of one thing that I can blame them for. But I have a lot to blame myself for. I have a ton to blame myself for. I can't even hardly get the words out. I have a ton to blame myself for. That is without a shadow of a doubt. I have a ton to blame myself for. And so I've tried to do my very best to blame myself, to really do critical evaluation of myself along the way. I've tried to do that. I've tried my absolute best to look at myself, the good and the bad. I've had to do that. Like I told you, the military, they're gonna force you to look at yourself. Ain't no way around it. I know that. I did not expect that when I got in there. But I got a rude awakening real fast. Oh, if you are going to operate in that environment, you are going to have to take a hard look at yourself. If you're going to make it any length of time, you are going to be forced to take a hard look at yourself. And that's one thing that I can say without a shadow of a doubt that I did take from the military. I came into the military being from the hard knocks, from the projects. That helped me to survive the military. Those first 9 years of growing up in the projects played a major role in me surviving the military. So I went in there with the experience of my environment that had shaped me. But the one thing that did help me, it really forced me to really get to know my character. And I can give credit to the military for that. But I give all the rest of the credit to my mother. I give all the rest of the credit to my mother and my brothers and sisters and my community and myself. See how that works? You see how that works? It's not complicated. It's not complicated. If you're trying your absolute best to be fair and objective and unbiased, you'll get there. You'll come very close to that mark of reaching that mark of that high standard. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a challenge every day you get up. Every day that you get up, that the good Lord give you another day to live, is going to be a challenge every day of your life. But it's worth it. It's worth it if you love yourself. If you love yourself and you love those around you that you want to have a positive impact on, it's not going to be hard at all. If you know that you love yourself, and you know whether you love yourself or not, and God knows whether you love yourself, and you know if you care about your community, and you want to have a positive impact on your community, and you can only do that by setting a positive example. You can't escape that. You can't do it halfway. You cannot do it halfway. You're gonna have to give your absolute best. You're gonna have to give the best of yourself each and every day. Otherwise, you're just going to have to accept accountability for having a negative impact. Sometimes that will happen. We're not perfect. We're not perfect. We are not perfect. We are going to sometimes have a negative impact. As long as we don't make it a consistent thing after we evaluate it and determine that that is what has happened and we correct it, we can learn from it. We're not perfect. None of us are perfect. And we're going to get it wrong sometime. We're going to get it wrong sometime, but we have the ability to correct it. So that's it for me, folks. I'm talked out. I don't talk enough about this sorry human being. And I'm going to invite any of you adults to come talk to me if you want to have this conversation and tell me to my face that I'm to blame, that I'm a traitor. I'm inviting you folks to send me a DM. Send me a DM, please. For God's sake, send me a DM. I want to have that conversation with you adults. Y'all pack yourselves into DJ LB's room. So send me a DM. If y'all got the backbone, y'all ain't have no trouble going to his room and crying and I just can't even fit the words out my mouth. So send me a DM. I'm inviting you to come tell me to my face that I'm to blame. I'm inviting any of you to do it. I'm going to wait to see if any of you have the backbone to do it. I'm waiting. I want you to tell me that I'm a traitor. That this elder is to blame that led the generation that came after them wrong. I want you to come tell me that. If you got the backbone to do it. I don't think you got a backbone to do it. But you need to find a backbone to point that finger back at yourself. If you ain't got the backbone to do that, then you don't need to waste time off of your life trying to summon up the backbone to come talk to me. Don't even waste time off your life. But that's it, folks. I have talked out. I have completely talked out. Oh my gosh, it's after midnight. That time cannot be right. Well, folks, thank you for popping in for the broadcast. Thank you kindly for taking time out your evening, and I appreciate it. I hope and trust that each and every one of us can stay safe and well and out of harm's way. Stay alert, and look out for one another. Look out for one another in every way humanly possible. Put as much protection around each other each and every day. And I trust and pray that the good Lord will make sure that we live out our days the way it's meant to be. So, folks, that's it for me. I'm getting ready to shut it down. Y'all have a good night. Thank you again.
That is an example of human beings not taking accountability of the harm, part 25, maybe 25% of the harm that we do to each other every second of the day. Thank you.